we can keep the conversation maybe high level and kind of talk a little bit about the process, and then
Mhm.
we can definitely have a more in-depth conversation if needed, right? So I'm just gonna show actually go into the right system. I don't think I went into the right system, but I can still have the conversation. So the the process is you get your requisitions in your accessioning, you get the insurance information technically from your providers or from the patient directly. You do the analytics, and at the end of that you report out the results, right, to the doctor, to the patient, to the state. At that point, when the requisition is being approved in the system, we look for the billing aspect as well. We can look for the billing aspect as well. And what I mean by that is we look at the insurance type, and then the insurance and the price list that we set up, and we determine if one, can we create a claim, meaning do we have all of the information that we need to create a claim. And if we can create a claim, if we cannot create a claim, then or we cannot make any determination about that. Let's say the bill type is missing, so we don't know what to do with that. Then it will go into what we call this claim manager application, into the missing billing, right? So it's because we cannot really do anything with it. We don't have all of the information to do it. If we can create a claim, then we look at the price list, we look at the tests that were performed, and all of the billing rules in terms of limits and bundling codes and all of that, and we generate a claim. And that claim is being generated with the whatever was set up in terms of pricing. The claim will end up in our claim manager in the pending review tab. So the pending review allows you to actually do a double check before the claim goes to the clearinghouse, right? So this is all of the claims with all of the the codes that were billed, and everything is available for the biller to double check the claim. If they double check the claim, everything looks good, then we send the claim to the clearinghouse. You can also handle the paper claims. It depends on the clearinghouse. If they do it, then you don't. But usually there's a charge. If you're the one sending the paper claims, then you can print the CMS 1500 and mail that to the insurance. But let's say it's electronic, we send it to the clearinghouse. We work with a clearinghouse. I mean, we work with any clearinghouse because it's a standard communication. But in case you don't have one, we have one that we have been recommending to clients, and they've been happy with the clearinghouse. It's called IMS Pro. So we will send the IMS Pro. We will send the data to IMS Pro. They'll process the claim. They have another review step in their system. They have a tool, so if they catch any things that we didn't catch, they will catch before the claim goes out, and then they'll send the claim to the actual insurance, right? And then when payments come back from the insurance, they go to the clearinghouse. From the clearinghouse, they come to us, and we will be able to process those payments. And depending on the information we get, the claim will be moved from into one of these buckets, right? They'll go either they were paid, or they were denied, or they were there are reversals, right? They can pay you today $1,000, and then 3 months later they say, you know what, we paid you by mistake. We should have already paid you $800, and we're taking $200 back, right? So all of those, depending on that, they will go on the claim, and you can work the claim from there. You can also record payments. If we get the electronic remits, then we do it, right? But some of the insurances, they'll send you a check. They won't send the actual electronic information. At that point, you would have to record the payment manually, right? So we have a batch payment posting where you can record those payments as well. We also have this check reconciliation where you specify the check number, the date, the amount, and we double check. We do the totals. Let me see if I have any reconciliations here to show you. I can actually go in here, and I'll quickly create one, and I'll say, The check number was 123456790. The date was on the 24th, and the total was $5,000. And what happens, the system will actually generate me, calculate how much I've recorded in the system, which is zero. So I still have a balance of $5,000 in this check, right? So meaning I haven't recorded anything. It helps you make sure your checks are being posted correctly. And I can actually see the claims. If there were any payments posted, I can see any payments that were posted. So this helps small, large checks that you get, you make sure they're posted correctly in the system. And this is an easy way. Most of the times the balance will match and will be zero, but sometimes it won't, and you have to troubleshoot, hey, I forgot to post a payment for this claim, and so on. So this helps you make sure every dollar is accounted for. And we strongly recommend clients to use this, because then if you do it on check by check, then at the end of the month, everything matches perfectly, right? So we have a lot of tools here to help with a lot of the stuff, including loaders for payments, batch payment posting. But the general idea is, once you approve the requisition, claim is being generated. If we cannot, it'll be in the missing billing with the reason why we can't. Then you review the claim, you submit the claim to the clearinghouse, we get the electronic remits back, and we post the payments or the denial codes, right? Any denial, it's a write-off technically from the insurance, and the insurance will send us the write-off codes, the denial codes. Now, some of those could be patient responsibility, and we can flag them. And what we do with the patient responsibility, we have a patient collection app where you can actually generate patient statements that you can print and mail to the patient, right? The next step is we do in the background, we look at the information to see, do we have everything that we need to generate a claim? If yes, we generate a claim. It shows up in, this is the claim manager application. It shows up in the pending review. So we'll have a claim with all of the charges associated with the claim. We have a setup page where we set the price codes, and that's part of the setup. For each insurance, we associate a price list. You can have the same price list to multiple insurances, and then the price list will have all of the CPT codes, the tests that you do, and the price, and the quantity, and the max allowed, and so on. So we have rules in terms of, okay, let's take UTI is a good example. All of the targets in a UTI, they all have, let's say, they all have the same CPT code, but you can only charge for up to 5. And that's the same thing in like talks. You have different CPT codes based on the number of drugs that you, right? So all of those rules we can implement. And we work with talks, we work with molecular labs, we work with chemistry labs to do billing. So all of those rules we can set them up in our price list, where we can do different rules or different bundling or quantities, or even saying to group the items or not, because you can have insurance in saying, I don't want you to send me quantity 5, I want you to send me a line item for this, for even if it's the same CPT code, I want individual line items. I don't want a quantity of 5. Or some they know, they want in one line item with a quantity. So we have all of these rules in place, and we generate the claim. You can still manage the configuration, you can come and you can change the prices, and you can do all of that, right? All of that's something that you can do, but we'll help you set it up and train you on that. There's one thing that I didn't mention is each requisition has what we call a bill type. So the bill type field tells us if it's insurance, if it's client bill, if it's patient cash, right? Patient paid already. So we have that bill type, and that's what we look first. Do we need to do a claim for this one based on the bill type? If it's a client bill, obviously no. If it's cash, obviously no. If it's insurance, then yes, right? So, but those are set up at the accessioning even, or by your providers directly, and we can limit the choices they have. So when one of your providers puts a requisition in, let's say in our portal, we can say you cannot use client bill, you can only use insurance, right? So we can limit each of your clients. Now, if we get their information from an HL7, then we get what we get, right? We cannot control the data. So whatever we get, you have to clean that up. Let's say we generate a claim, right? So then you have, let's say this is my claim that was, I'm in the pending review tab right here, right? So this is everything generated by the system that I have to review. And then I can look at everything that was done for that claim. I can look at the CPT codes, the price that was generated, but this is all generated automatically, right? We add the right CPT, we add the quantity, we calculate the amount, and all of that it is being generated by the system automatically, and you have all of the information about that particular requisition and that particular. You have access to the final report to actually double check if you need to double check what was on the report. You have access to all of the previous claims for that patient. So let's say this patient had other claims, I can go and see my other claims for that patient, right? So I can actually see that this patient had 2 additional claims. I can see the dates for that patient, and I can see the charge, if they were paid, they were not paid. So I have all of that information on my claim here when I do the review, right? So I can make decisions if I need to change the price or add the CPT or whatever the case would be, based on, even looking at the report if you need to double check the report. So you see the insurance information, you see the patient detail, you see the primary, you see all of that information is available here for you to change or whatever, including you can flag insurances. Let me see. There's got to be a field here. If there is an insurance that requires pre-authorization codes, you can actually flag it, and it will give you, and it will not let you complete until you put a pre-authorization code, right? But if you say, okay, insurance and whatever, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia requires pre-authorization code, then we won't let you complete. You have to put that, and we send a pre-authorization code in the message that we send to the clearinghouse. The same way, if an insurance is paper only, then we'll flag that insurance as paper only, and you won't be able to submit it electronically unless you won't be able to submit it electronically, and then you'll be able to print the CMS 1500. You can review everything, so including, if let's say they use the patient portal, they have the insurance card, you can look at the insurance card. Everything is available that you have from the lab, and all of the previous steps. All of that information is available here for you. So you can check eligibility. Right now, we've just released it to the patient portal. So we will check eligibility in the patient portal when patient registers, right? So we will do that. We have that option right now to do it, so they can register. But let's say it's not a patient portal. Let's say it's you get it from an HL7 message from your clients. You can run the eligibility check at accessioning. We can run it automatically, and it will give us the patient eligibility and benefits here. And this will give us if it's valid or not, and it will give us the actual. You can actually open and see the benefits, right? So we send it to the clearinghouse saying, hey, we need to get the benefits for this patient. The clearinghouse will give us all of the information. We check if it's valid. If it's not, we check for certain rules, and then you can actually just open and see the benefits. I'll send you some screenshots of what that would mean. But for every patient, we can run it at accessioning. We can run it in the, before it even gets here. So you can have that information before you submit, and you can double check it here. So you just open and you see the benefits. So you can make any changes to this. So let me go. Do I have anything in the paid? I don't have, but let me show you this one. So this is a SARS code. The edit of this claim gives you information about everything, right? So I'll go to the items where you see them, and you can actually modify, and you can say, the price for this one is not actually 10, it was a mistake. It should be $30, right? So now this will change the patient, the insurance balance becomes 20. Let's say you've received the payment, and this is what will be posted automatically, but I'm just going to do it manually because it will show up in here. I'm going to say my check was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The check date was on the 24, I guess, I received, let's say, $10 for this one, and I received it for this, and it's a primary insurance, and I'm gonna save and close. So now this is what you will see. You will see the payments that you've received, and then you will see the write-offs if you received any write-offs, right? They'll come and they'll say that it's a $30. Let me put that. Patient responsibility, they came on the 24 as well. $5 is the amount, and it's whatever the reason is, and we have all of the reason. It should be somewhere, let's say patient, it should be a PR something, right? PR dash whatever deductible. This is a good example because this is, I mean, the amounts are not realistic, but this is a claim that I charged $30. The insurance pay 10. I can see that they pay 10, and this is a check, and you see they gave me a deductible of 10. So I actually, this one should be, let's say, to be consistent, they'll always give you a full, it'll match the full amount, so they'll account for every penny. So 25, right? So now they gave me a it's not 25, it should be 20, right? Because it's 30, my numbers are not good. Okay. So now, so I charge $30, they pay 10, and they say 20 is the patient responsibility, right? That's why we have two sections, the write-offs and the payments. They're all write-offs. The denials are all write-offs, and the denials are just 100% or close to that of with just different write-offs, whatever the reason is. But when we get from the insurance, we get two things: payments and write-offs. $10, and I'm not paying you 20, and this is the reason I'm not paying you 20, right? This is what you get from them, and you see all of that. You see all of that information in here. So that's how you can make your adjustments. So if you need to change, you can manually change, or you can manually add payments. We have a batch way. So if you receive, let's say for COVID, you receive payments for 100 claims of $100 for each 100. You're not going to do it 100 times. We have a quick way to just do it easily for all 100 claims that you receive the payment, and they should come electronically, right? So that's the information you will see. How much did they pay, and how much did they write off, and why did they write it off? Right here. So this is a good reason. It tells you it was because we get these PR codes, and we have the list, and we know what they mean. So we'll get the PR1, right, which is deductible amount, or PR whatever, 100, which means something else. It tells you exactly what the reason is, right? Not a patient responsibility, but it's, let's say it's mutually agreed amount, and you've charged more than you agreed with, and they'll give you all of that, right? Or if you submitted the claim too late, they'll give you all of that. All of those have codes. There are hundreds, thousands of those codes that they can send. So if you ask for a bucket, everything that we receive, they go into, when we receive payments, they go into these buckets, right? They get paid because they were paid. They reverse us. So they paid them 6 months ago, and now they took money back. They realized for some reason, or they paid more, or they get denials when they don't pay anything, so they'll be in the denial. So you can see the claims in these buckets. For the patient responsibility, we do have a different page, and in that is you see all of the patient responsibility, and you can generate statements that you can print, right? And then you mail them to the patient with whatever template you want. So where you can list anything that it's patient responsible, because you have to send them to the patient, and you try to collect, right? So you can document that way that, hey, I send them a statement on this date, on this date, and on this date, and I haven't received anything back. And on the statement, you can put anything. You can put a link, credit card, phone number for them to call, whatever. We're gonna add, hopefully soon, a link so they can pay through the patient portal, but that's not there yet.